In this training, we're going to talk about internet leads. We're going to look at where they come from, what you do when you get them, and the psychology behind them. For some people, the internet lead is a relatively new concept, but it's not unique to the insurance industry or a lot of other industries. And for a lot of people, how you feel about the internet lead generation will depend a lot on your own strategies for finding customers and your comfort level with technology. It's important to understand how these internet leads are generated, what the process is for you to get them, in order for you to decide if they're going to be a good fit for how you're going to market yourself. So some of the tips is you want to verify the information is current at the time the customer entered the information on the request page of the vendor site. So it's important to make sure that the information that you're using is current. So for example, if the lead says John Smith, that doesn't necessarily mean that John Smith is the one who filled the form out. It could have been his wife that was filling it out at home. Remember, the customer information is dependent on the accuracy of the customer's typing skills. So you have a keyboard on your keyboard. You have a number pad to the right-hand side, but you also have numbers at the top. So it's not necessarily uncommon for people to invert the numbers. So 865-776-3295 could come out as 3259, or 5687 could come out 6578. So it's important to understand that people just might not be very good at typing. Their interest in providing the information and their comfort level with typing on a computer can have a direct impact on how accurate the information is. You want to use additional internet sources to verify or to search the information regarding internet leads. So you can use 411.com, you can use MapQuest.com, YellowPages.com. And what I tell a lot of agents is just go to the door and knock on the door. You've got the lead, print it off, go to the door and knock on the door. You can copy the email address into Google, and a lot of times that'll give you the address and phone number. You can copy the phone number into the Google, and that'll give you the people's name, or you can copy the people's name into Google, and that will give you their address. Here's an example of a form. This is healthcare.gov. So people are going to have to type their name in that text box, for example, their first name, their last name. But when they type their name in, they're going to have to tab over. And when they tab over, that means that they type the name in and then they tab over again. So sometimes you might find missing information. If the form doesn't require the information, people might be missing the information, not because they didn't want to provide it before you, but they tab too fast. Also, you'll notice on these forms here that when people fill the information in, they're going to have to use the number pad on the right-hand side. So some people will type the numbers at the top of the keys, which means that they'll sometimes get it wrong. They meant to type 56 and they type 65 by accident. So if the number's not good, if the number's not accurate, that doesn't mean it's a bad lead. That just means that people are bad typists. So there's an example there. There's a keyboard. So people could hit the tab key and they might hit the caps lock key by accident, and they think they're typing the information in there, but they're actually not. They could use the numbers key on the right-hand side, and you might have dashes or the star figure or the pound key, the pound symbol showing up on there. Well, that might be that they hit, when they hit number 7, that actually hit the numbers lock by mistake, and the rest of the numbers they type in end up being symbols. So again, that's just reflective of people not being good at typing or not being comfortable with the keyboard, rather than just not providing accurate information. That's why we give you those other resources to do more research on the leads that you already paid to get. So again, people provide information on forms that are on websites, and then when you purchase an internet lead, when people provide that information, those leads are processed by the vendor's web server. Some of them batch those leads together and send them out at certain times during the day. Others send those leads directly to you. But getting information that doesn't look accurate on a lead is not a reflective of a bad lead. It's just reflective of someone who's not good at typing on the keyboard. So look at your own keyboard and apply logical thinking to this when you get a lead. So for example, if the address they give you doesn't match or doesn't come up, the numbers might be because they didn't type completely on the number keyboard. If the street name is not correct, it may be because they didn't use street, lane, or avenue. So make sure that you use Google 411, Yellow Pages. Make sure you use other resources to verify your lead. Listen, you already spent the money to get the lead. There's no point in whining and crying about it. If the lead didn't come out the way you think it should have come out, use other resources to make the lead valuable. That's what makes leaders. That's what top salespeople do. So now that you've gotten some of these tips, pull out some of those old internet leads you've got that you marked that were bad leads and go back through them. Use your Google, use 411, use Yellow Pages to do some research, and I'll bet you drum up some business through there. In the worst case scenario, type their name in there, get the address, and go knock on the door.